welcome to It's Not Just Cramps with Clara. Today's episode is just me ranting, complaining, talking. So the last video was basically me having a mental breakdown. And that was when the hospital called me for my second laparoscopy to get the surgery done. It was supposed to be a very intensive and complicated surgery. I got told that probably was supposed to be done in Liverpool, but I just got the phone call and I got worried, overwhelmed. I felt a bit like I was gonna put myself into trouble, into mistakes. Didn't really want to do that, but after the phone call, I did went to my pre-op, and I did got to a point where I thought, knowing from my previous experience how many times they cancelled, postponed, and so on the surgery, that the better thing was to wait till I get into surgery, till I get my surgery done, and then, and only then, say how many steps I had to take in between. But I'm happy because apparently I'm on the top of the list, so that means any cancellation, anything that happens, I get the spot. In the meantime, because the last time they called me only 1 week in advance, I decided to stop the contraceptive, and I'm terrified. The last time I've been off contraceptive was just before my first op, and I was nearly dead. I was in so much pain. At the moment I'm doing okay. I don't know why. I was expecting to be half dead by now, but I'm still coping. I've asked some girls that I know with endometriosis, and it can take a couple of weeks, even a couple of months sometimes to restart. So I have a bit of a blessing time, but I still get drained with everything. Like, it's just mentally exhausting managing, work, uni work, life. Even though at work they've been amazing and university has been amazing, I don't know, all of this just brings you low, to a very low point. And I was looking at my file because if I have to think about, if somebody asks me like, what problem do you have, what disease do you have, I would say I have endometriosis. I have stage 4 diaphragm involvement, because, well, that sounds kind of right, and that is the only thing I've been officially diagnosed where I've sat with somebody and they kind of explained it. But like, if you properly read my surgical report, I have the whole package. Adenomyosis, Fibroids, Teratoma, Endometriosis, chocolate cysts. I don't know. And I've never felt like, because there are some women, like in the same way that I say I have endometriosis, there are women that say I have adenomyosis. And my brain just can't compute that I have both. And they are kind of like common, I think. But yeah, I'm just like, I'm genuinely exhausted, and anyway, let's leave this. When I went for my pre-op, like all of my fears and thoughts came to be true. They were not prepared. They were not. The moment I sat down and the nurse said, okay, so you had a previous op where we removed both of your ovaries. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? After I put my complaint to not have the worst gynecologist possible, they stuck me with a student or somebody that was young and new and barely knew that office, and she couldn't find a file to make me sign for a laparoscopy for endometriosis, so she made me sign a removal for both ovaries file, and then she just crossed it out by pen. But now on the system it shows up as if I got both of my ovaries removed. So for this next surgery, they were not really worried about my fertility, and because obviously every op you do, every time you have an operation, yes, it increases the likelihood for you to get pregnant, but at the same time, it reduces your ovarian reserve. So the more surgeries you get, the less valuable ovules you have left. So yeah, the conversation was a bit weird. She was like, yeah, but you know, everybody's ready if you want to have surgery on Friday. And I was like, okay, is the whole team gonna be there? You know, thoracic, bowel, like spinal, like is everybody gonna be there? And she went, no. I was like, well, what do you mean by no? Like, what's the plan? It's a simple removal of endometriosis, isn't it? I was like, well, if you don't know. So I explained the nurse my worries and everything, and then she called a couple of people, and the outcome was that they cannot operate me until I speak with the team and make a plan, and then I can have my surgery. Mentally, emotionally, sucks. Completely sucks. But it's one of those where we just have to cope. So as of now, we just need to deal with it and hope that everything's gonna be okay, and hope that I'll manage. So yeah, as of now, I'm just waiting for my next surgery, and that's all. At this point, I think my next one is gonna be once I get a real date, after speaking with the team and knowing all the correct steps. As I was saying, I stopped the contraceptive because I had a huge argument with my GP. I feel like I've survived till now. And yes, I used to be, the progesterone pill helped, but I just question if it's worth the whole thing, because I had a lot of side effects with the progesterone only pill. I mean, my situation was bad to start with, but the headaches, the light sensitivity, the throwing up, the completely random bleed through, like proper bleed through, like water balloon, and then nothing. So that makes inconvenient being outside, and the pains and the leg and the nerves. It just feels like I'm constantly on the day before my period pain. Their solution is to pump me up with stronger hormones, and I don't want to do that. I'm not interested in that. So now, honestly, I've just given up with my GPs. It's not worth it. They just don't care. It's not like when you have your doctor, because I'm used to have my own doctor, one person that I refer to and I speak to. And if I don't like my doctor, I change him. But then I get one that I like how he behaves, and that person sticks with me forever. And all I get is somebody that is not worried at all to give me codeine, naproxen, tramadol. But then if you request a switch to a contraceptive that you've been on for 10 years, it's no. You overweight. But I've gained weight since I've been on the pop. Yeah, but still, you're too overweight now. And you got migraines, so that means there's a risk of stroke. I'm just like mentally, I'm feeling quite defeated. I'm enjoying this week because I'm doing okay, but I am defeated. Like if this was a war, I've completely lost it. Well, I'm supposed to get my period again soon. So hormones that I'm not used to. Well, not that I was doing any better the last time, but anyway, I have no idea about what's gonna happen. Is going to be complicated to manage and to deal with. The worries, the troubles, the problems. But we'll get there, eventually. Eventually we'll get it all nicely sorted. So as of now, my biggest worry is first when the surgery is going to be, and second when my pains are going to come back full power. I mean, I'm not sure if there is a point for me to go to A&E when that will happen, because obviously the last time I started struggling breathing and I had an ambulance that came and picked me up. They did nothing. They gave me paracetamol and sent me home. And if they give me like an emergency surgery, I'm worried that it's not going to be what I wanted it to be. I have no idea about what I'm doing. I might be completely wrong. I might be completely out of it. But